What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the
Till the Wheels Fall Off podcast,
where I am your host, Spice from SpiceLifeTv, and this is my husband, your co-host,
Creed. My name is Creed, y'all, and this is where we focus on relationships and reintegration. Now, previously, I would say relationships and reentry, but everybody coming out of the system reenters. Not everybody reintegrates, and that's our focus. We want to help people reintegrate successfully into society, and I think that's that we should call this from now on.
Okay.
So I just wanted to let the public know that we were switching it up a little bit.
I like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
I like that. That's good. Okay, so we are back with you guys, and we're excited to be here today. We're going to switch things up a little bit. Before we get into what the switch up is going to be, we are going to do our weekly segment called High Low.
High Low.
And that's where we share our high and our low of the week. And did you want to start with your high and low? Or
Ladies first all the time. That don't never change.
Okay, I will say, I think my high-low is actually the same this week. They're both. It's one and the same. My high is that me and Creed have been started working out together. And I really enjoy that.
That's dope.
It's been hard because I haven't been working out in a long time. You guys might have known last summer, I was really into a trainer that whole year before he came home.
And he was dope.
He is still dope.
He's still dope. He's still dope.
And then, we got married, and then we had life and stuff, and I just hadn't really got back on the bandwagon with working out. And me and him both have always for years talked about doing that together. And so now we bought some equipment. At first he had it in my backyard, just outside. We've now moved it into the shed so that we look a little bit more presentable.
Just a little bit though.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. So he's kind of like a little personal trainer to me. And because, we're still in this like honeymoon phase and we're getting to know each other, he's never seen me work out. So I find myself pushing a little harder because I'm like trying to kind of impress him a little bit.
And that's not good because I push already. And then if you're trying to push harder, I'll be like, that didn't hurt you?
Right.
You're not through? You need some more? So
which leads me to my low. I can barely walk.
I was not trying to do that, though.
He killed me. Leg day, he made the first day, which I normally love a leg day, but I haven't had a leg day in so long. Today was first one of I'm back in the field with my job, so we're out and about, and I had to pee. And I held my pee all day because I could not fathom having to squat and hold my body weight over a toilet. Yeah. I just couldn't do it.
It hurts.
So I literally waited till I got home, ran into the house, and that's why I didn't come say hi to you, because I ran into the house and literally had to throw myself on the pot because I was like, my legs are killing.
The sit down when your legs hurt is it's a mission. The cool part about it is I wasn't trying to do that, but anybody knows who really does legs, they know that if you do it at the beginning of the week, it is a struggle to get through your workouts if you really hit them. And the thing is, we hit them in a way that they were forced to be worked out that day because we did all body weight, then we ran, and then we did, and we kept it going. So yeah, we did
it in the rain.
We did it in the rain.
I said, you do know you with a black woman.
Hey.
I put on my little shower cap and I was outside in the rain working out with this man.
It was definitely black woman problems because she want that. We want that good.
We do.
And
I was
so
like, no excuses. We can be cute on this.
You called me earlier at work and was like, something about the shed or whatever. Are we going to do it in the rain? And I was like, yeah. And you was like, okay. And you was with it.
I'm with
it. You was
it.
definitely with it. So yeah, we've been getting that money though.
So babe, what's your high low for the week?
My high definitely is my partner got out this week.
Oh yeah.
Now it's a little different because since I've been out, I haven't had any of my partners get out.
Yeah.
So it was my first time to be able to be like, show up, what you need, that type of thing. Maybe had already got a bunch of clothes for him, and then he had got to a halfway house, which is like a whole apartment. When he first got there, it was all his. It's a whole apartment that's nice. Refurnished, renovated and refurnished, and it looks really, really good. Like, not a lot of people come home to this type of situation.
It's really nice.
And so he called me. He was already out. He called me, and now we made plans to go see him this weekend. And just to see him out and free with that new attitude and everything. It was just really, really rewarding.
I know.
There's a dude that I trained when we was in the joint. I trained him with the job that we was at and left him there. And he successfully, took over that job and ran it really, really good. And it's a job that allows you to get skills, especially in critical thinking, because it's all you. Mm-hmm. And so I really wanted that for him because that's probably going to be really big for him because he's in his 50s and, he's getting out here getting the job market. Yeah. So that was something that he even told me he didn't have. Mm-hmm. So now he's out here and I'm real excited for my guy to get out here and do his thing. And so that was really, really dope to see him, hug him, take him something that he may need the same way you did me, babe, when I got out. Like, here, what you need. It was like dope to have that feeling like, here you go. And do you need something else to be able to deliver if he needed it? It felt good to me. Mm-hmm. So that was the high.
I know. I'll share with that high too. That was a good high.
It was. You had fun too?
I had a great time because I've talked to him for the last, 2 years?
At least, yeah.
And it just always has been talking. I never saw him at Visit. I never got to meet him face to face. So finally getting to meet him and him being exactly who he was over the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the sweetest man. So we're excited to get to know him better and kind of integrate him in our life and see how we can help him. But it was good seeing you see him.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Because black men, how we do. When we see each other first time, that hug is hella aggressive.
Hard.
And it's beating the back. You know what I'm saying? But that's love, though. It's real love. And I'm going to tell you something. In this situation, in this day and age, and in that environment, it's hard to find genuine people. So to know, I've known Stevie for a long time when we was in the system, but we got really close our last few years. Mm-hmm. To go through all that and then watch me get out and him get out and us still be tight. And it's just no bull. You know what I'm saying?
And he's not a weirdo. And he's normal.
He's not being a weirdo. He's very... what's the word I'm looking for? He's very accountable to all of his past mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
And he wants to rectify them. So he's not here thinking he needs a handout or somebody owe him something. He's here to show and prove. Mm-hmm. I love that attitude and the guy that's trying to reintegrate himself to society.
Willing to work hard, decided to work. He dope. Just wants to be a regular guy.
And the thing is, I tell him, is that the people like us who have this certain work ethic, I don't care what field you're in, that is a talent now.
Yeah, it is.
That is a talent. That is something because nobody wants to work. So he's going to be successful because he's a 55, 56-year-old man who can outwork a 20-year-old.
Yeah, and he don't stop moving.
Yeah, it's dope to see him home. So that was my high.
Yeah.
And my low is I didn't have any lows.
Babe, that's a great thing.
That's a great week because I really try to think about a low. And I've been thinking since our last episode, was anything bad or something that I had been in a bad mood about? And I can't really think of anything. I think maybe I got frustrated for a few minutes about, renovating the basement, how I am with that.
Yeah.
But it's been a dope week.
That's good.
It's been a dope week.
We've earned that.
Yeah.
I think so too. All right. So our next segment, we are going to actually ask a question. We normally do a question from one of these random question card games. And we were doing, I think it was something, Convo and Chill. We went through those card games on a Friday night, just having fun on our own.
Yeah, you did.
So I'd ordered this new game that I've been seeing online. It was called Last Couple Standing. And inside the game, they have a bunch of questions. And so we are actually going to be pulling from their quarantine edition pack. It's like an extension pack. Mm-hmm. And so we'll both ask a question, and then we will see what we do. Come up with.
This is dangerous.
All right, so I'm going to take the first one. All right, here we go.
Yep.
Tell me something that you wish I'd stop doing.
Tell you something that I wish you'd stop doing. Mm-hmm. Leaving the tops off of everything you take the top off of. Toothpaste.
I do
Spices.
not toothpaste. That's the one thing I keep the top on, is the toothpaste. That's probably the only thing I'm...
Okay, you're right. My fault, world. It's not the toothpaste is you squeeze it at the middle. And listen, she grab it like this, y'all. And so it'd be something
out
here.
That is not true.
I'll be like, what happened to this?
Okay, tell the truth.
Do you not?
I do not.
You do.
That is my biggest pet peeve. So that's not true.
You squeeze it at the bottom?
I don't squeeze it necessarily at the very bottom, but I'm not a middle squeezer at all. I will pull it up and squeeze that sucker.
Can you admit for the world that you are a third squeezer?
What's a third?
A third of the way up. Because that joint be having something in the bottom.
It don't.
It do. I be like, but listen, I digress. So we'll leave that on the side, right?
Totally
Spices in the kitchen. My weed, y'all.
Oh.
You be talking about my weed. I came home and said, what? Today I said, what? I thought she didn't want the smell.
First of all, I was high, so I forgot to put the lid back on.
Y'all heard it?
I mean, that makes absolute sense.
It does. It does. But yeah, she will not. She'll take top off of anything. The cheese for the Parmesan, the cheese that you might put on the pizza that come in a little box. It'd be sitting on the ottoman with the top off. I'll come down in the morning for go to work and I'll be like, "Yep, I'm gonna put this top back on here." The top on everything, cause just what she do, y'all. She take it off and she use it and she put it down and she go about her business.
No, because I'm not done. Coming back.
So when I put it up while you're asleep,
I'm not done.
Okay, no doubt. Honestly, that's it, y'all. Y'all Spice, she good. You know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you mine.
You get to answer my question too?
Oh, I thought we both asked it. We both answer.
Okay, go ahead.
Unless you don't want to.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the thing I wish you would stop doing. I mean, amongst a few, but this is my top. I think one of my top things. Well, for one, you always touch things that don't belong to you, and then you never put them back. Mm-hmm. Anything that I put in a special place because I use it, and I'm the only one that's supposed to be using it because it's mine. Mm-mm. He will use it, and then it's not like he uses it, like let's just talk about my pick. I have a specific hair pick that I use in the shower to pick this hair out when I'm washing my hair. Now, sisters, we have our specific tools that work. This comb works great. It doesn't snag. It doesn't pull. I have very little shedding with it. It is my hair washing pick that every time I go to the shower to get the hair washing pick, and it's always when I'm in the shower full of suds, I can never find my pick. And you know who has it? He took it because he's picking that beard all around the house.
Hold on.
And he has multiple picks because, you know how I know? He's stolen them from me.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
He steals my picks. I buy new picks. He continues to steal my picks or anything else I touch or have. And he never puts it back where it's supposed to go.
At one time, I had 3 picks in my truck.
All mine.
No.
2 of them were mine.
2 were mine. 1 was yours.
That's opposite.
But.
You flipped that.
But. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes I do. But, world, understand this. Y'all see the beard. I'll turn it. So what happens is I be needing to make sure that it's on this fluff status because there was a mask syndrome for like the last couple of years and they be mashing it down. Every time I take it off, and my beard be like this, and I, you know what I'm saying?
He be picking that. I hear him in the morning just
Yeah. So what's funny now is since I've been home, amongst other things, my pick, which is what I carry with me like a wallet, I have not figured out a place to put my stuff. So what happens is I'll pick my pick up and not put it where my pick would be. Then need a pick and can't find it, and then grab a pick, and don't put it back.
And then he does that with the picks. He does that with the lighters. We can never find a lighter. As much as he wants to talk about this is a marijuana positive household, how are we gonna smoke it if he got all the lighters? All the lighters.
You just gotta find them, baby. They all over here.
That's the mystery. Every day, it's a game.
But look, y'all, check this out. I go to her nightstand, and there's like 4 lighters. The other day, there was 3 lighters.
Lighter.
No, there was 3. There was one in the ashtray. There was one behind everything, and there was one on the floor. I'm dead serious. I picked them all up. I said, this is where all the lighters is. Because I couldn't find one over on my side.
Did you check your pockets? Because I bet you there was 17 and a half in your pockets.
There probably is. The lighter thing, we don't put nothing back. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm bad about putting things back. I am. I've been bad. And I didn't used to be bad.
Or just walking into the room with something and somehow he loses it as he's walking into the room.
I'm looking for something
all the time.
And it could be a byproduct, like you say, me moving fast, because I do move fast a lot. And then sometimes I just, like when I come in, I'm used to coming in and there's a place for everything.
Yeah.
And I haven't discovered my places yet because we're in a constant state of kind of getting stuff, trying to get stuff done in every room, right? So I don't really have a place. So sometimes I'll like come home and literally used to empty my pockets and put my pick here and this, that, and knew where it was every day. Now I'm just like, where is my pick? I just had it.
You know what I think, honestly? You know how you come through the garage and you cleaned off that ledge there? I feel like you should make a little get undressed station right there and get dressed station right there.
I could do that.
Because that's where you enter and exit all the time. Because I get why it's hard, because when you come through into the house, you're either going downstairs or you're going up here, and there's no place right when you walk in.
Right.
But if you make that your place.
That's actually a good idea. That's a good idea. That would alleviate a lot of problems as far as, first of all, my apologies for your pick or, you know what I'm saying, stuff that belongs to you. But that would alleviate a lot of problems in terms of me losing stuff or not putting stuff where it properly goes.
And there's a basket right there I just saw right behind us that's not in use. And you can put that out there and just put all your stuff in it.
You had to wait till it was recording to tell me that? You didn't tell me that 2 days ago.
I just thought about it. Literally, just thought about it.
No, but that's a good idea. It's time for me. Admit something that you argued about, but later found out you were wrong.
Admit something?
Admit something that you argued about, but later found out that you were wrong.
Argued about? I think the last one that I really remember of being like, ooh, was we had that incident where we went to dinner with some people, and I was kind of telling you that something you said bothered me. And then you pointed out something that I had been doing too that was very hypocritical to that. And I hadn't even peeped that I had been doing almost something similar, maybe even worse to some degree. But that was probably the most recent time that I'm like, where I really realized that I was making a mistake.
Yeah, I kind of knew that. I think they were kind of wanting to know, like, you didn't tell me that you found out later that you were wrong. Like, you realized it later, but didn't say, like, I was wrong.
No, I feel like normally when I'm wrong, I'll come back and say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done this, or this is what I did, and I should, you know. Yeah,
because there's been times when I found out later, like, okay, you were right about that, and I say it. I don't be like, I ain't saying that.
Yeah, no, I don't ever not say it. If I don't, it's just because it, like, you weren't with me when I realized I was wrong, and it just never came back up. But it wasn't like...
Yeah, but there's some people who want that W, and they're not relinquishing the W because they found out later that they were wrong. See, but I can't
take the W if it's not really a W.
Not doing the W.
Yeah, it won't hit the same for me, and I'd feel really guilty.
Yeah.
Because normally when I'm on your head, I know I'm right. And I go in because I know I'm right. So if I
do know that you know that you know.
So if I'm wrong, then I am more like, damn.
Yeah.
I gotta fix that because I was really going in on him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? You don't have anything?
No, I'm pretty forthcoming about stuff like that because
you're pretty good about that.
Usually arguments is, like communication issues or hurt issues, and I take that stuff pretty seriously. So it's like, if I was wrong about that, I want to communicate that and make sure that everything's above board. So no, that's not even something I would even keep to myself.
Babe, I'm going to need you to make lotion in your hands a priority.
Lotion in my hand is a priority.
Before
I'm rushing
the podcast, because last time I had to crop one time because your knuckle was so ashy. I said, they ain't about to be talking about my baby on this TV like that. And then you come on here again, just ashy. Okay.
No, babe, look, it's not.
Where is I normally have my oil in here. All right, so now that we have did our first little segment there, we're going to switch things up a little bit today.
Whoa, world. Check this out.
World.
Girl Spice and I decided to do this. So we're going to do a little question and interview session, right? And this segment is called Interview with a Ridah. That's the Ridah right there, right? Y'all know what she did. Y'all know what she did for 24 times, right? So Interview with the Ridah, where I get to ask her some personal questions because it's been about a year since I've been home. And I just want to ask some questions looking back upon the year what is this? Or how do you feel about that? So I'm just asking her a few little questions, and Spice is going to give you some in-depth stuff about how she's been feeling or maybe thoughts that she's had. Not too deep, but at the same time, it gives you, like I said, in-depth look at both of us so you understand where we come from and what we're going through.
I'm really interested to see these questions because I told him he could go. It's like nothing was off limits, and I didn't want to know what they were ahead of time. Like I wanted to have the raw response. So I hope you got some good ones.
Yeah, I mean, they're alright to me, but I mean to somebody else, they might be the question that or the answer that everybody wanted to know. So, y'all ready for this?
Y'all ready?
All
for
right,
this?
here it goes. And the interview with a writer comes across.
You're annoying.
All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Seriously, you ready?
Let's go. Hit it.
All right, these are the questions. It's been a year.
Yeah.
Since we've completed that particular leg of our journey. All right? So, I have a few questions for you. And the first one is, why, in all caps, why would you ride this time with me? After a year.
After a year
of me being home. I'm asking you that now.
To look back and be like, why did I do that? For the year that I just had. The year that I just had.
Explain to the world. Let them know what the year you just had. Let them know what you were waiting on.
Oh, is this your way of like for you?
No, not at all. It's just letting them know. They want to know about the year, so you tell them what the year you just had, what it was you waited for.
I mean, so what I always wanted was to be in a committed relationship with someone that I knew loved and adored me. Really more adore. Like I know people that have had love and people that love them, but I wanted someone to absolutely adore me. And he does, y'all. He really does adore me. And I appreciate. And not only do I appreciate it, but it's like, oh, this is nice. Like, I knew it would be nice. I knew me waiting for him that he would give me these things. But I think that sometimes, like, I'll catch the way you look at me or when I'll ask you a question and you're just so, like, ready to, like, jump in and either take care of me or protect me or I don't know. It's just that is what I was waiting for. And I didn't think that it was going to take 24 years to get it. But I will say I got what I wanted. And I haven't had any like, that's not really what I thought. Except for when I tell you catfish me. But besides that, you're perfect.
The catfish is stupid, y'all. But check this out. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I got a good mind to cut the camera right now and slob you down. You know what I'm saying? Off that answer. That later. But I felt like it was pertinent to just let the people know because a lot of times that's what people want to know. Like, why would somebody do that?
I mean, the thing is you don't go. Well, for me, I didn't go in saying I'm about to stay and wait for this man for 24 years. I never said that because I never thought we were going to have to wait that long. So it wasn't like I signed on for the whole amount of time.
Could you tell them why we didn't think we had to wait that long?
Because you can appeal and you can't, like, laws change and with the laws changing, sentencing changes and all those things. There's just a lot of things that go in that could potentially change the outcome of how much time you have to do. And we had our hands in all of those things.
Sure did.
And we had a lot of good feedback and good cases. Like, we had a good case. So I just never signed on to the fact that we were going to be doing 26 years. So it wasn't like I took it on like that. I think that's the other thing is I do think I know people like J and G. When we talk to her, she says, I knew it was this long and I signed on for this long. So there's a different perspective there because I knew you got sentenced that long, but I never, ever intended that he was going to spend all that time in prison. Like, we never thought that. So it just kind of was like, we just kept going till we thought it was going to end, and it just never ended.
It just never ended.
No.
Yeah. It seemed like it was never ending. And all that fighting that we ended up doing, we ended up coming home early. But it was a year and some change, but
we came home early, that's
true. We were
true.
trying to come home decades earlier, but...
Well, and two, I want to speak to... Me and you have been best friends from the beginning. And that is the one thing that we have maintained, even when we weren't necessarily in love with each other or in, like as far as relationship. But me and him have always been best friends. And so not only was I seeing it like that's my man in this situation, he's my partner. Like we was gonna do this together no matter what, in some capacity. Did I necessarily think it was gonna be like it did? I don't know that I thought that either. Yeah. But I didn't ever think that him not being in my life was an option.
Yeah, for sure.
And you never gave me a reason to think that or regret it. So here we are.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
I like that answer, y'all. Very in-depth. See, that's what Spice give you what you need. You know what I'm saying? She here for the people. I love it. I just love it.
I'm trying to give you that hard-hitting content.
All right. Number 2. Mm-hmm. How has it been sharing your space since you haven't had to do that in ever?
Yeah. Okay. I will say it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. Because I really thought that we'd have fights about it. Like, I mean, and we have little disagreements, like the pick thing, stuff like that, where I'm like, I put that here for a reason, and now when I need it, it's not there. And there's moments like that often, but it's never like, oh, I wish you would just go somewhere or leave, or I don't want him here. I ain't
going nowhere.
I have thoroughly enjoyed having you in my space. I think it's it makes me do more than I sometimes want to. Like I can easily cave up, and you've seen that I can cave up for weeks, months, or whatever. And with you being here and knowing you're coming in and out every day, it makes me be like, okay, you need to probably put on some more different clothes today, or do your hair. Your man's coming home. You don't want him to see you the same way. Whereas when he wasn't coming home, I could literally wear the same thing all day, every day, because I'm working from home. Nobody's going to see me. And now it's like, girl, get it together. Yeah, you got a man.
Okay.
But I will say, you had to work last week. He had to go out of town 2 days for work. And he's done that before, and I was able to go with him. This time I wasn't able to go with him. And so we spent 2 days apart. And I think both of us can admit that we enjoyed having those 2 days apart.
What's funny is that, how did we enjoy it? We
slept hard. I mean, he called me at 7:00, and yes. I was already asleep, wasn't I?
You were asleep.
I had already dozed off at 7:00 in the evening time. Mind you, me and him, we told you we don't go to bed till 12. Midnight is like, that's typically around when we go to bed. Sometimes 1:00. He gets up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then I typically a lot of times wake up with him, and we just be up, so we don't always get a lot of sleep. And him coming home, I had to switch my side of the bed because he had to be on the man's side of the bed. All these things that you do that affect your sleep. And I had kind of had to get reacclimated to that. And then I was really anxious of you leaving me. Remember? I was I don't know. This is weird. But then when he left that first night, and when I tell you snuggled in, and I think it was because I could just turn all the way off. I didn't have to worry about him. I didn't have to see if he was cool. I didn't have to do anything but myself. And I fell right back into my routine. And it was such a comfortable feeling that I almost was scared that when you came back that I wasn't going to be excited to see you. But I was.
It was that cool. It was that cool. Like you said, my job sent me and they had me in the hotel and it was nice and all that. And I wanted you there. But I was just I'm in this big suite, and when I first got there, remember I drove down at night, and I think when I called you when I got there is when you when you went into your back safe. In mode,
Yep.
So when I get there, after I got off the phone with you, I'm looking around like, man, okay, I'm in the suite. What am I gonna do? First thing I did was take off my shoes and take another shower and go right to sleep.
Oh, you did take another shower?
I did. I tried because you kept saying you don't need to. You just took one before. But I was just like, man, it's on me that roll stuff. So I took one. And then what's funny is the next day when I went to work, I went down to the bar, had me something to eat, a couple of drinks, watched the game, came upstairs, and I was ready to just chill with you on FaceTime. And when you answered the phone and you were asleep, I was like, yes. Yes, because I want to go to sleep too. And right when we got the phone, we went right to sleep. I slept all the way from 7 at night till 5 in the morning.
And I slept from 7 that night till 7 the next morning.
Yeah,
which I had not done in a long time.
And it was weird feeling, but it was almost like I was so relieved when you felt the same way.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And I was so relieved when I saw you, and I was like, yay, he's is back. Because I was kind of like, damn, I missed this. And I was thinking about how much I missed. Didn't realize how much I missed just getting a real dose of alone time.
Yeah.
And it was good.
And so now it's become something that we have to dedicate time to giving each other alone time, which we knew we had to do that, but we didn't know how much we actually missed it until we actually did it. Like, ooh.
It's different. It's different when you just have a day to yourself versus when you have like a day and a night to yourself. Mm-hmm. That's a whole different thing. And the thing about it is, at first I was feeling bad because I enjoyed it so much. But listen, we are grown folks that have lived alone for a long time. And if you're cool with it and I'm cool with it and we're both like, yeah, we need a day or we need a night, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if it makes both of us like each other more when we come back.
Well, the thing is, it definitely could do that, but I think a lot of times couples don't want to do that because they might feel like it's admitting that
something's wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong, and I don't think anything wrong with that. I mean, your time alone is as important as it is you to communicate with people, and I don't think that people balance that enough as it is.
Yeah.
So when you have two people who've been like that their whole life, it's really an imbalance. It feels like when we haven't visited that for a whole year.
Well, and two, I think it's so powerful when a couple does what works for that couple and not what works for everybody else. Like, I have friends that have husbands and they each have their own room and they're totally fine with that. And at first people kind of like, what? You're not sleeping with your husband every night? They don't sleep well together. So why not? I mean,
why force it?
They can get rest, which makes them better people during the day to each other, to their kid, and they sleep better, and they still love spending time together, and they have their husband and wife time, and if they choose to stay, they stay. They want to go to the separate corners, they go to the separate corners, and it's just something that works for them. And so if we adopt things that are just things that work for us, I'm with it.
I mean, I'm a master of my marriage, and you're the master of your marriage, so we do what we want to do. We don't listen to nobody's preconceived ideas, notions, or policies that they set up in a marriage.
True.
As long as we're doing anything to endear ourselves to each other, loving each other, not hurting each other, go for it.
Keep each other happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Cool.
So, all right. Do you feel the need to be around me all the time, or do you find that you long for your space? Which you kind of just answered that a little bit.
Yeah. I enjoy being around you. And when I have free time, like when you tell me you're on your way home, and if I'm not home, I instantly feel like I need to be on my way home too. Like if he's home, I need to be home. Not because it's like you can't be nowhere without me. It's just like I want to get to you and spend time with you.
Right. I feel the same way.
But like last weekend or this last weekend, you had something with your friend and you went and hung out with your friend for a few hours, and I just stayed home. That was fine. Next weekend, I'm doing something with my friend and you're going to be. So I think it's healthy. I will say that, like, I've already thought about a couple times, like, am I going to feel like hanging out with my homegirl, or do I want to spend that day with my man? Because I always want to spend time with you. But I'm really trying to force myself to, I don't want to say that because I like my friends and I want to spend more time with them. But I want to create better relationships with my friends. So
yeah, for sure.
That's going to be a priority for me.
I think that's dope.
Yeah.
I think that's dope. All right. That's what's up. Is/how.
Okay.
So is and how is the sex different from when we were having conjugal visits?
Ooh, it's way better. Way better. I think, too, for one, when you have your EFV visits, conjugal visits, extended family visits, whatever, when you have those, there, of course, there's so much anticipation that goes into it. You're so excited because you haven't been with your person in so long. But it also comes with a lot of extra pressure. And I think for sometimes, I feel like early on, we felt like we had to get the numbers in. It was like, we don't have a lot of time. Let's get these numbers so that it holds us through. And then we realized, no, we need to make sure that it's the quality of it. We got to make sure this is better this way. But it always was like, as soon as we would finally get a new rhythm or a new, like, ooh, let's try this, 5, 4, 3 months before we could do it again. So in all the times we did have conjugals, it probably was not even equivalent to a month of total straight.
Yeah.
maybe 2 months straight of like if you had sex every day.
Yeah.
So we never really got that. Now, enough said. Everybody knows their part. They know their positions, know their parts.
Saying, like, get it in, man. Yeah.
You be coming through.
You see? Do that again? Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
right.
No, that's much better.
Free sex is better than prison sex.
Well, it's a little, free sex is better. Prison sex can be a little more fun because it's a little more dangerous, a little edgy, especially depending on where you're having the prison sex.
I had somebody ask, well, I seen one of the questions that you sent me that somebody asked, was our conjugal visits monitored? And so could you explain to the people what that was like to be in that situation so they know what kind of privacy we had?
So, yes, they are monitored to an extent. You don't have, when you check in like you normally would for a visit and your guards and stuff take you up to this little trailer. Is that your car?
Yeah, what was you saying?
Okay, so when you get to the trailer, they drive you up to the trailer and it's always completely covered in fence. Like it's wrapped in fence and there's barbed wire around the whole thing. Like once you're in. So they unlock it, let you into the little yard that's connected to the trailer, and then that's where you stay for the next 2 days. You don't come out of that at all. They'll come up and do head counts or like a visual count to see if you're, sometimes they'll check on me to see if I'm okay. Most times they're checking to make sure he hasn't run away. But that's pretty much the monitoring that happens. There's no camera inside the unit. Or anything like that.
So basically, whoever asked that question, yeah, you can get buck wild. You do your thing, player.
You can.
You know?
Yeah, which it can be fun. And when I was saying sex in prison can be more fun, I wasn't necessarily talking about EFEs.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I didn't press it because it's like, nah, it's not time to talk about that right now. But y'all gonna get that though. Y'all gonna get that one. So, what are some habits that you have struggled to stop doing or struggle to do, but can't remember that you can because you're prison conditioned? So is it something that you were doing because I was locked up that you still do, that you can't stop yourself? Or is it something that you can do that you forget that you can do? Because
when you first came home, there was a lot that I would forget that I could do. A lot that I could forget. Just even to just call him back. Like the phone, for whatever reason, get disconnected. And I would be sitting there waiting for him to call me. And I could call him. While he's in prison, we never get to call them. They always have to call us. So it was, even after you got your cell phone and we had your phone at your job, and if the phone ever hung up, for one, it was like, in prison, if you have a cell phone, it's already a taboo thing. So I would never call that phone back because you don't know if it's going to ring or who's there. And I'm still thinking like, well, he's going to just have to call me back. And I'd be sitting there waiting for him to call me back. And I could have just called him back. Stuff like that. To this day, I still, when we're on the phone, literally after probably a good 15 minutes, I naturally am like, okay, well, time to round up, like wind that phone call down. Almost to the point where I just don't even have anything else to say to you after.
It's crazy that you said 15 minutes. I thought it was closer to 10.
It might be.
Yeah, because like I'll be like,
all
right, well, I'll holler at you in a minute. Like, and that, tell them why though. The prison phone calls are 20 minutes, so that's what we're used to.
Yeah.
So
that's why. It's 20 minutes. And so the crazy thing is that years and years of doing that, you end up not even necessarily needing the person to tell you it's been 20 minutes because you're so used to the time. You just can feel it and be like, we would just naturally start winding our conversations down because we would know.
I wouldn't start another one if I felt like I was at this 15-minute point or 16.
Right.
Because we take 2 minutes to say bye and I love you and all that. So
we have to save that conversation for the next time. And so, but now it's almost like, and y'all know me, if you know me on a personal level, you know I hate talking on the phone. And it's because of prison that I hate talking on the phone. But even now, him being out of prison, I just don't like being on the phone. I don't even really enjoy talking to you on the phone. It's like it's just it's not comfortable. I don't know why.
I mean, I get it. I mean, for me, you know what I used to do, even get on the phone. I hate being on the phone now, so I get it. I'm not offended at all. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm glad you feel that way.
Wrap it up. I'll see you in a couple hours.
Wrap it up, B.
Exactly.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm sure there's a lot. I can't.
What about? Let me see.
There's a few of them, I'm sure.
Let me ask you this: How did it feel to not have to do your get up and go visiting routine on the weekends in the morning?
Oh, that still is something that I keep thinking is short term. Like, I keep thinking we're going to have to do it. Because there are sometimes, like, I would work in Seattle, which was like an hour from where I live now, and I'd have to be at work by 6 a.m. And I do that Monday through Friday. And then I'd turn around and on Saturday and Sunday have to do the same thing, if not earlier, because I'd have to be to visit him, which was an hour and a half away, sometimes 2 hours, by 7 a.m. So it was just always, there was just, I don't miss that at all. No. I don't miss that at all.
And we're talking about weekends.
Your weekend, so you don't really ever get a lot of downtime. At the very beginning, I was doing both days, and then it became a point where I was like, sir, I have to have some type of a life.
Yeah, that's when the shutdown Sunday came.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was like, nothing happens on Sunday. Those are my days. Kind of took that back. But yeah, there's a lot of things I'm sure that we've talked about too that I'm like, I still think this way.
I mean, we still do it every single day. So much so that you can't sit up here and think about it.
I will say though, one thing that I think helps a lot of times help me center and just kind of decompress that I do miss, which is crazy, is sometimes I miss the waiting on Fridays to go to visit. So you go to visit, we get there and we park we have to wait. And a lot of times I'd have to wait sometimes 2 hours. But I'd become so used to having to wait that I would make that time very useful. And I could just get a lot of things done in this 2 hour car time. But it also was like a kind of a mindfulness time that I had, because where he was at was through a national park. So it was just trees and creeks and birds, and you could kind of just chill. Mm-hmm. And I kind of miss that. Not that I can't create that here, but it was like assigned time that I always did. Mm-hmm. It was nothing really got in the way of that.
Hard to find that now.
Now it's like we don't have time for anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there are certain aspects I do miss.
Yeah. All right. Next question is, do you feel like, it's finally over, or do you feel like you have to make up for lost time?
I feel both. I feel like, well, actually, I don't know that the woo is finally over is really sunk in yet. Mm-hmm. I know you're home and that part is over, but I don't know that I necessarily have just released it. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think part of it's because we still have ties to prison, so it's like we haven't just been able to shut the door, which we never will be able to. But for now, I kind of haven't got to that oh, thank God it's all the way over.
Yeah.
But the part that I've been struggling with the hardest is because I've wanted you to be home and you're home, and thank God, yes, you're here. But I just feel like now that I've got him, I don't feel like we're ever doing enough, because I'm always trying to make up for all the things I've always said I wanted to do, or all the things that we've been planning to do. Now we got to do them. And I just don't ever feel like we're moving enough. But then I also have to remember, y'all are moving. Y'all are doing a lot. It's only been a year.
Almost to the point where anytime we're around other people, they're always telling us we're doing a lot.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that before I got out, one of the things that one of the guys that was helping me reintegrate told me was that one of the most dangerous things you can do is try to make up for lost time. He said you can't do it.
Yeah.
And it is a constant race that you're going to be wore out on, and life itself is hard enough. Then you're trying to make up for lost time. It doesn't work. You're always going to feel unfulfilled. It was just, he just laid out, this is Augustine telling me this, and I was just forever grateful for that. But okay, that's good. That's good to know. I kind of knew that, but I just, let the people know how Spice is feeling. All right. Okay.
You're funny.
What is something that I do that's prison related that annoys you?
That's prison related?
Mm-hmm.
That you do that? Well, you stopped doing the one thing that I could not live with. The spitting in the toilet.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody's ever been with someone who's been locked up, whether they're in the county or they're in real prison, if they've been in there for any amount of time, they're going to come home, and instead of them brushing their teeth and spitting in the sink like people do, they'll typically brush and spit over the toilet, which grosses me out. And thank God he dropped that one really quickly because I couldn't handle it.
Well, it's a hygiene issue, so it's not a crazy issue. It's a hygiene issue. You understand? In prison, the sink in the cell is the only running water you have. Mm-hmm. So you can't brush your teeth and spit in there. When a guy cooks, use that to cook and wash dishes. So the sink is only for washing hands, as far as that's the only dirt that goes down there. But spit, any bodily fluids go in this. So if you're bleeding, you have any type of mucus or anything like that, or you spit, it goes into the toilet. That's the rule.
And that makes sense in prison.
It does make sense in prison.
Not
and it was
in my
just
house.
like, listen, first time I tried to do it out here, I ain't tell nobody this, but I spit in the toilet and that spit, and then it bubbled back up. It splashed back up and hit me right on the nose. You know when it just barely grazed you? It makes you mad. Like, I was like... And so that was definitely a catalyst to get me to stop doing that.
That's so gross. Anything else that you do from prison? I mean, I think just sometimes your overall tone, because I've noticed it from other dudes that have gotten out, whether they got out before you or after you. And there's a definite way that you operate when you're in prison. People operate in general that is like, oh, so that's just not you that has it. Like sometimes your tone or the way you answer things or your response to things is very similar to like some of the other guys. Like I've seen them have the same response, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's just like a conditioning thing. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I know what you're talking about. I mean, there's definitely a way to be in prison. Everything is very aggressive. Everything is hard. Everything is no feeling involved. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like it's a yes or no answer. It's not like yeah. It's like yeah, no. Like you just give answers. There's no
finesse on it. No. And it took me a long time to not take that personal or get offended, and to learn that you were just giving me an answer. Even still, sometimes now, when you're just giving me answers, I'm like, I have to, I'll double check and be like, are you good? Like, you have an attitude? Because he did answer the question, but he gives you nothing else with it. Even his face, he won't even give you no expression with his face. So you're like, I don't know if he's mad or if he, like, what? So then he's kind of just been telling me like, no, babe, I'm just high right now. Or I'm just chilling. Like, no, I'm not thinking nothing. And I had to really learn like, they sometimes just don't be nothing going on.
Don't be nothing going on. And so, but America, y'all know how you can just read into stuff. We've all done it. I've done it. Like and I'm one of them people that it's only going to be so long till I have to ask you, like, what's your problem? You good?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so neither one of us are that type of person to where we can just sit around. We have to ask it.
Well, especially with you, I don't have no weight. Like, other people, I can kind of see, let them fill it out and see, like, let them regulate themselves. With you, it's like, are we good or are we not good? If we're not, like, I need you to tell me and let's figure this out. Otherwise, you need to fix your attitude because it's making me feel like something's up. Yeah. Because I really feed off your energy. Mm. So if your energy's off, it's automatically affecting mine.
Well, that's the same thing with yours. And that's why I'll be like, yo, what's up? Yeah. Like, and then you'll give me something and I'll be like, nah, like, what's up? Like and that we're both like that. You press deep. You press more than I do, I think, or you definitely press in a different way. No, you press more than I do.
I press more,
but
because I'm not satisfied with the answer.
But we both do it, and I don't press nobody. I only do it with you because you
don't even press
like
me.
You. I do press you. When I don't hear answer, and I be like, no, that ain't it. And I be like, what's up? I ask again. Okay. And the thing is, for me, re-ask is a press because I don't re-ask again.
That's his pressing. Whereas me, I'm in detail. Like, okay, if he says nothing's wrong, I'm like, do you have to go to the bathroom? Is your stomach upset? Did you eat? Like, I'm going through the list. Let's tell me something's wrong because I know this person. Anyway.
You don't know shit. Okay, so that's it. And there's actually one final question that I need to ask you.
Ask me.
Do you regret it?
No, I don't regret it. I do not regret one day being with you. I do regret sometimes on how I did my time with you. Certain things I do regret, but I think it's just like it's those things that you didn't know because you didn't know. It wasn't like you were doing something horrible. Mm-hmm. You remember when we had our time in December 2011? Our destiny time, our fate. We were either make it or break it. Mm-hmm. That marker was kind of like where I thought I should have done this differently, so that we could have not ended up where we were. But as far as like overall regret, no, I don't regret it. But I can say I don't think I would never sign up to do it again.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah,
I respect that. I think you'd be a damn fool if you did. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes, whether it's your stance with doing time with somebody where you said you didn't expect it to be that long, or if you do expect it to be that long, I think the one thing is just like there's little intricacies about doing time that you just don't know. So the reason why you're still in it probably is because you don't know this is around the corner.
Yeah.
If you knew that was around the corner, you'd be like, I'm cool.
I think that's really what got us, because we never knew it was around the corner. And we were always very hopeful and faithful. If we didn't have those two things and weren't curious about what was coming around the corner, then there would have been no reason for me to stay. Yeah. Like, you can't stay in this without both of those, faith and hope.
And you know what's funny? Like, we had faith a lot. We had a lot of faith. Hope was something that we both had to find ways to get in and be inspired to hope, right?
Yeah.
And what's funny is with your boy world is I had Spice, you know what I'm saying? And I had I'm not gonna let them beat me attitude, right? So that's like two people riding with me, myself wholly and her. And we always made sure that I had what I needed. I was always taken care of. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is to say that with you and having you riding with me and having what I need, it was still hard to manage hope on it. Like, it was hard. Mm-hmm. So for somebody who doesn't have anybody, imagine how hard it is for them to get hope. Because I struggle. Like, we would be on the phone trying to find something positive.
That's why we started doing countdowns.
You did.
So we would always do a countdown the trailer, countdown to whatever, because we would need something to look forward to.
And the next event,
or the next when graduated reentry was coming.
Yes,
like it was always, we would find whatever little piece we could find and have a countdown, so we could be like, only 17 more days. Yeah. And then even when he was getting ready to come home, we had our countdown for when he was going to go to work release, countdown for when he was coming home, countdown for when, like, all these things, because sometimes you just needed anything to get through it.
To hope. Incentive to hope is, that's not how hope works, right? So if you're doing that on a daily basis, you're getting cheated. And any institution, any system that will make you do that every single day of your life is not good for you. So we know prison isn't good.
Right.
It's not good for anybody's soul, for their happiness or anything like that. But you are not supposed to be living, breathing every single day looking for an inspiration to have hope. We grew up like that, with the neighborhoods we grew up in, at prison, so that's a big chunk of life that you're living like that. That's not cool. Mm-hmm. And like, we have to find ways to change that condition. We found a way to do it, but how do we do it with people who are living like that every day?
I mean, I kind of, that's something I do with my job, is partly trying to help people find hope, or finding those things that will make you motivated enough to keep going. Mm. I mean, and it really kind of, sometimes you just have to break down what your personal why is. And the why has to be something that's going to drive you. And I can't say I had a personal why for me, why I stayed with you all of that time. But you were my person, and you were why I stayed with you, is because I loved you. I cared about you. You were enough for me, always were enough for me. You were what I wanted. And I felt like you were my why. Like, we are doing this together. I'm going to commit to being with him. And unfortunately, this situation is where he's at. And so I'm going to be here with him. Mm. And that was one, I guess, that was what I signed on for. It was never me signing on for 26 years. It was me signing on to ride with you until you didn't need me anymore.
For sure.
That was really it.
For sure. Mm-hmm. That's what's up.
Is you my Pookey?
I appreciate that. So that was my interview with a Ridah. And the Ridah being Spice, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
known for other names like Down Ass Chick, you know what I'm saying? You're feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Some of my homeboys know I call her she, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's just my baby, that's my everything. But the world, we want y'all to understand, you know what I'm saying, the progress of this journey that we have. And like we've told you about how it started, and now that we're home, I've been home a year, we kind of want to give you an idea of what the thought process is with both of us. So you had an interview with a Ridah, and next week you're going to have an interview with a roller, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to do our thing.
Yes, ma'am. So if you guys have any questions you want me to ask him, let me know. I've already compiled a good list. I think your interview might be more in depth than mine. We're going to hit them hard-hitting questions.
You trying to say my questions wasn't hard-hitting?
I didn't say that. I said mine are going to be more hard-hitting.
Did you say that?
We get into the meat, y'all. Next week, I'll be interviewing your boy. So if you do have anything you want to know about him that you want me to slide in, I will. But
no need, world. Just sit back.
We want to know. And then, yeah, this was fun.
It was cool. It was dope.
I don't normally get interviewed.
No, that's exactly why I wanted it like this, and why I didn't want to be answering questions. You need that
sometimes.
Honestly, I don't know anybody in the world who's done something great who didn't get interviewed. So,
man, that's sweet.
Nah, come on, don't start.
You're so sweet.
Don't start. Don't start.
That's sweet, Pookey. Spice Rack, thanks for being here with us.
Okay.
I want to ask y'all to please comment, like, share this podcast out. But even more than that, please subscribe, because there's a lot of you guys watching us and you're not subscribing. And I don't really know why, because I think we're pretty dope.
You know we dope.
I think so.
We know we dope.
I think we got to give these people a little bit more. They need to see a little bit more of us. So we're going to have to really bring the content, like step the content up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll give people what they want.
You going to give them what they want?
I might. I'm going to give them something.
Okay, that's it, y'all. He going to give you something.
I'm going to give you more.
And he determines what it's going to be on the day if he feels like it or not. So bear with us.
That's not true. Yeah.
Just bear with us.
You better sign off before you get yourself in trouble.
All right, Spice Rack. Thanks for being here. God bless y'all, and we will be black next week. All right.